At 61 years old, Margaret had led a life rich with experiences, her heart always open to love in all its forms. Yet there was one unspoken wish she had kept close to her heart. It was a rainy afternoon when she decided to confide in Dr. Ryan, her trusted physician of many years. Dr. Ryan had always been more than just a doctor to her. He had been a confidant and a friend. With a gentle smile, Margaret walked into his office, feeling the weight of years and dreams press upon her shoulders. "Dr. Ryan," she began, her voice a whisper of the past, "I have something to ask of you, something a bit unusual." She could barely meet his eyes, her heart racing with a mixture of hope and apprehension. Dr. Ryan, accustomed to the many peculiar requests that came through his office, raised an eyebrow with curiosity. "Of course, Margaret. What's on your mind?" Margaret took a deep breath, her gaze drifting out of the window where the rain painted a serene picture on the glass. "I want you to help me fulfill a dream I've carried for so long," she said, her voice quivering slightly. "I want to feel like I'm young again, to experience love, not just in memory, but in the present. I want to dance under the stars, to hold hands and feel that spark of romance that I've always cherished but never quite lived." Dr. Ryan was taken aback, but he saw the sincerity in her eyes. He had always known Margaret to be kind-hearted and wise, but this request revealed a vulnerability and longing he had never seen before. He nodded slowly, understanding the depth of her request. "Margaret, I want to help you. Let's start with something simple, an evening out. We'll take it one step at a time." Weeks passed, and Dr. Ryan became more than just her physician. He took Margaret to dance classes where she learned to sway to the music once more. They walked through gardens in the twilight, where fireflies danced around them and laughter flowed like a river. Their friendship deepened with every shared experience, and Margaret felt a warmth she hadn't known she was missing. One night, under a canopy of stars, Dr. Ryan led Margaret to a small, intimate setting he had arranged. An open field with a blanket and lanterns softly glowing in the night. They sat together, and he took her hand, their fingers interlocking with a tenderness that spoke volumes. As the evening wore on, they talked about dreams, regrets, and the paths their lives had taken. Dr. Ryan, looking at Margaret with newfound admiration, shared his own tales of love and loss. Margaret listened intently, feeling a connection she hadn't felt in years. The night was theirs, a timeless moment where the world seemed to pause. Margaret looked at Dr. Ryan, her heart full of a quiet joy. "Thank you for this," she said softly, her eyes shining with gratitude, "for making me feel alive and cherished once again." Dr. Ryan squeezed her hand gently. "Margaret, it's been an honor to share this journey with you. Your courage and your heart have touched me deeply." They sat in comfortable silence, the bond between them growing stronger. In that moment, Margaret realized that her wish wasn't just about feeling young or reliving a past romance. It was about the beauty of connecting with someone who understood her on a profound level. As dawn approached, they stood together, watching the first light of morning break through the horizon. The promise of a new day was like a canvas, and for Margaret, it held the promise of continued joy and the possibility of new adventures, all painted with the colors of a love that had been rekindled in the most unexpected of ways. As the first light of dawn painted the sky with soft pinks and golds, Dr. Ryan and Margaret remained in the field, their hearts bound together by an unexpected yet undeniable connection. The morning air was cool, but the warmth between them created an intimacy that seemed to transcend time. Margaret looked into Dr. Ryan's eyes, and in that gaze, she saw a reflection of all the dreams she had harbored for so long. In the hushed serenity of the dawn, Dr. Ryan's fingers brushed against Margaret's cheek, the touch tender and electrifying. He leaned in slowly, his breath mingling with hers. The anticipation was palpable, and as their lips finally met, it was a kiss that spoke of years of longing and rediscovered passion. The kiss was gentle at first, a slow exploration that deepened with each passing moment. Margaret responded with equal fervor, her hands moving to rest on his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath her palms. The kiss became more urgent, more intense, as they lost themselves in the sensation of being so close. Margaret's fingers tangled in his hair, pulling him closer, while Dr. Ryan's hands traveled to her back, drawing her into a closer embrace. They broke the kiss briefly, their foreheads touching, breaths mingling. "Margaret," Dr. Ryan whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "You've brought a new kind of joy into my life. I never imagined this, but it feels right." Margaret's eyes sparkled with unshed tears, her heart swelling with a deep affection. "I never thought I'd feel this way again," she replied, her voice trembling. "But with you, it feels like a beautiful new beginning." They kissed again, this time with more urgency, their bodies pressing closer together. Dr. Ryan's hands roamed gently over Margaret's back, while her fingers traced the contours of his face. They sank to the blanket laid out in the field, the soft fabric cushioning their intimate embrace. The cool morning air brushed against their skin, adding a thrilling contrast to the heat of their passion. As they lay together on the blanket, their kisses grew more fervent, each touch and caress deepening their connection. Dr. Ryan's hands explored the curves of Margaret's body, his touch tender and reverent. Margaret responded eagerly, her hands tracing the lines of his muscles, her fingers lingering over his heart. They were lost in a cocoon of warmth and affection, their bodies moving in a rhythm that felt both natural and exhilarating. The intimacy between them was palpable as they shared whispered words of love and appreciation. Dr. Ryan gently traced kisses along Margaret's neck and shoulders, each touch a declaration of his deepening feelings. Margaret's soft sighs and murmured praises added to the tender symphony of their union. Their kisses became more passionate, their embraces tighter, as they reveled in the closeness they had found. The dawn continued to break around them, but they were oblivious to the world beyond their little sanctuary. The gentle rustle of the leaves and the distant songs of morning birds were the only witnesses to their shared moment of bliss. They remained entwined on the blanket, their bodies and hearts completely intertwined, savoring the profound connection they had discovered in each other. As the sun finally rose, casting its golden light over the field, Dr. Ryan and Margaret lay together, their hands still clasped, their breaths slowly returning to normal. They gazed into each other's eyes, the morning light reflecting the newfound love and happiness they had found together. Their hearts were full, their souls content, and the promise of many more shared moments hung in the air like a beautiful unspoken vow. The morning sun illuminated their path as they walked hand in hand, the field behind them a silent witness to their newfound love. The day stretched out before them, filled with possibilities and promises. As they reached the edge of the field, they paused to look back one last time. The memories of their intimate moments would forever be etched in their hearts, a beautiful chapter in their lives that they would cherish. Margaret turned to Dr. Ryan, her eyes reflecting a blend of joy and gratitude. "Thank you for everything," she said, her voice full of emotion, "for helping me rediscover a love I thought was lost, and for showing me that it's never too late to find happiness." Dr. Ryan squeezed her hand gently, his own heart full of warmth. "Margaret, it's been an honor to be on this journey with you. You've brought a new light into my life, and I look forward to every moment we'll share from here on out." As they continued their walk, they spoke of their dreams and aspirations, weaving plans for a future filled with shared experiences and deepened affection. The bond between them had grown stronger with each passing moment, and they both felt an unspoken agreement that their love was something truly special. The sun climbed higher, and the world around them began to awaken, but for Dr. Ryan and Margaret, the day felt like a personal celebration. They knew that their love was a rare and precious thing, something to be nurtured and cherished. Hand in hand, they ventured into their future, ready to embrace whatever came their way, knowing that they had found something extraordinary together. The love that had sparked in the early morning light would continue to grow, lighting their lives with a brilliance that only true connection can bring. And as they walked into the horizon, their hearts sang with the promise of many more chapters to come, each one filled with the same deep, abiding love that had begun under the morning sun.